Hey, what's up? This is our predictions for UFC 87, Seek and Destroy. First up on the card is Damian Maia versus Jason McDonald.
All right, Damian Maia, awesome ground game. He's been working on his stand-up. His stand-up's not that bad, but he's been working on it with Vanderlei Silva. Jason McDonald, very well-rounded fighter. I'm going to go with Jason McDonald on this one.
Damian Maia, very, very decorated jiu-jitsu practitioner. Black belt in jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
2007, Abu Dhabi champ, 4-time state Brazilian champ. He's got so many decorations I can't remember exactly how much. Like Tom was saying, his stand-up's not been great, but he's been training with Wanderlei. He's also got Wanderlei's fitness instructor, his conditioning instructor. If you've ever seen anything Wanderlei does, it's insane. So now he's got Damian Maia on that. He's going to come in. His cardio is going to be really good. He's going to be really ferocious. I hope his stand-up looks really good. On ground, Damian Maia on paper looks like he's definitely going to take him. Jason McDonald has really good submissions. He's also known for his ground game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as well decorated as Damian Maia, but this is ferocious and just as devastating on the ground. But I think Damian Maia will pull this one off. I think he's going to win this one and keep his winning streak and have a 9-0 instead of an 8-0.
Well, okay. Now we're going to move on to... all right, next up is Kenny Florian versus Roger Huerta. This fight is a fight that most fans have been looking forward to. Roger Huerta, although I think he's a really good fighter, I think he's slightly overrated. I'm not... he has good stand-up. He has a good ground game. Although I think that Kenny Florian's pretty much significantly better in all aspects of the game. So I'm going to go with Kenny Florian on this one. I think that he's slightly underrated as a fighter. He's definitely been in. He's definitely fought more notable opponents than Roger Huerta has. So I'm going to go with Kenny Florian.
Yeah, like Tom was saying, the notable opponents. If you have time to check the record, 5 of Roger's 6 wins have come from people who it was their debut fights in the UFC. Not saying that these guys aren't good, but debut fights, you're going to have jitters. It's going to be a little bit different. Roger Huerta's beat all these guys, and the only guy that he's fought that hasn't made a debut was Clay Guida, who was dominating him until he got a sloppy attack. He got hit by a knee, which is, it's what happens, and Roger Huerta was there to capitalize on that. But if he hadn't have got sloppy, the fight would have totally went a different way. I mean, He did. He got rocked. He got knocked down. It happens, but I also think that UFC is pushing Huerta a little bit too much to capitalize on the Latino thing. They've already had talks about taking the UFC, doing a UFC event in Mexico, and who better to headline that than Huerta?
Yeah.
And
that's the same thing they did with Bisbee.
Yeah.
With England.
It's not the fighter's fault. I
No.
mean, it's part of the game, but they make the fighters look like they're a little bit better than they actually are. They hype them up a little bit too much. Casual fans will be ecstatic to see these fighters. Real fans will, know that these guys are a little bit overdone.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen on the Kenny Florian. I think Kenny Florian's going to go in there, use his technique to take out Roger Huerta.
I believe either standing or on the ground. I think Kenny Florian's got this fight. I think Roger Huerta and Kenny Florian talked about it. He leaves himself wide open when he goes in. So I don't know. He leaves himself open a lot, and then on the ground, he really hasn't shown anything super impressive on the ground to me. I feel like Kenny Florian's got it either way it goes, standing or on the ground.
So we got Kenny Florian on this one. Next fight is a heavyweight fight. Is Heath Herring and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, this fight, I'm actually almost looking more forward to this fight than I am any fight on the card, and I don't know why, because I was actually pretty upset when Brock Lesnar came to MMA because I thought it was kind of a joke. But I think that Brock Lesnar is one of the more naturally talented people to come into the sport. I think that he has what it takes to make a good MMA fighter. But I think that they're bringing him up a little too fast, putting him in against people like Heath Herring. I think the Mark Coleman fight, I'm assuming I think Coleman was injured, and that's the reason that fight didn't go through. I think that would have been a better fight for him. But Heath Herring is pretty notable heavyweight and has a lot of good tools. He hits very hard, awesome striker, and he's got a pretty good ground game. So, it really doesn't matter to me. I think both of them are pretty good guys. But since I'm a Herring fan, I think I'm going to go with Herring on this one. But either way, it wouldn't bother me if either one wins.
What I see happening is Brock Lesnar's going to come in and use his wrestling, obviously, and try to take Herring down. Herring's takedown defense hasn't been that great, but
he's good in the scramble. Once he hits the ground, it's hard to keep him in a dominant position. It's hard to hold him down. He's good in the scramble. He's good at avoiding being controlled.
A lot of people like to talk about the Jake O'Brien fight with Herring, where he got taken down repeatedly. But if you've seen anything after that or before that, even before that, they were talking about Herring's medical problems, that he shouldn't have been in the ring in the first place.
Yeah.
And against the doctor's wishes, he went in there. He was hurt. That's no excuse. He got taken down and he got beat. But his takedown defense is good. His scrambles on the ground are great. And Brock Lesnar is going to have a lot more problems with him than Brock Lesnar think he's going to have.
Yeah, he's pretty powerful, strong guy too.
Yeah.
Even though of course Lesnar will probably have the strength advantage, but we'll see. I mean, we're going to see Brock Lesnar's chin get tested most likely, and we'll see how he holds up. GSP versus John Fitch. Now this is going to be an awesome fight. GSP, awesome, extremely well-rounded fighter. He just continues to get better if that's possible. John Fitch, he's pretty well-rounded too. He has a pretty good stand-up. Not near the caliber of GSP, but his ground game is awesome. He's a good combination of his jiu-jitsu and his wrestling. He's just made black belt in his Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I think that on the ground, I think GSP is going to have a harder time controlling him than he has had controlling his last opponents that he's outweighed and been a little bit stronger than. GSP has packed on a few pounds, in my opinion. When he comes in, he looks a little bit larger now. But the thing is, John Fitch pretty much looks like a middleweight, and he's another big, strong welterweight, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm rooting for Fitch. I'm rooting for Fitch, and I think there's a possibility that Fitch may be able to knock him out standing up. I think that he showed in the Sarah fight that his recovery isn't that great from a good shot. So I think that Fitch may be able to, if he wants to, keep it on the feet, possibly. Even though St-Pierre has awesome takedowns, and I think that Fitch may knock him out.
GSP, his last fights after the Sarah fight, he's been wrestling a lot more. Fitch knows this. We've seen it. He hasn't been standing a lot, and I think what Fitch is wanting to do will be able to, if he can, stuff his takedowns and stand up with him. A lot of fighters wouldn't want to do that with GSP, but I think Fitch can take some of the punishment and get in there and knock him out. On the ground, man, GSP's wrestling has just came so far. It's so good, but like Tom was saying, controlling Fitch on the ground is going to be a lot harder. He's a lot stronger welterweight. He's a natural wrestler. That's his base. And even though GSP's wrestling is great, I think he's going to have a little bit more of a problem with John Fitch than he has with Koscheck or Matt Hughes. So it's possible that GSP more likely is going to pull this off, if by decision or submission. I'm going to be rooting for Fitch. I think if he wins, he's going to win by knockout. He may win on the ground, but I think what he's wanting to do is more than likely uses his strength, his scrambles to get back up on his feet and to take it to the feet and knock him out.
Yeah, I think that he'll try to pressure St-Pierre. St-Pierre likes somebody that will stay on the outside and let him use his kicks and let him pick his shots. And John Fitch is a little bit meaner. I think John Fitch is going to come in and is going to try to walk through, and I think he's going to try to to knock him out. I think it might be John Fitch's plan for this fight.
If it's not going to be a knockout, or a knockout by Fitch or submission by a GSP, more likely it's going to go to a 5-round decision. And in that, I think it'll probably end up going to GSP.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a war either way. It's going to be a good fight. And that's our picks. Leave us some comments. Leave good comments, intelligent comments, and tell us what you think. And we will see you next time.